As many of you know, there is an app on the market that enables you to take your all-wheel drive BMW and convert it to rear-wheel drive. What's better than that is they say that it actually adds horsepower and torque. And today, we're putting the car on the dyno and we're gonna myth bust it to see if rear-wheel drive is more powerful than xDrive. Hey, this is Bryan. Thanks for watching Kies Motorsports. If you like our videos, give us a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe and check us out at KiesMotorsports.com. That is right. If you've been following our channel for any length of time, you will know that there is an app out there called xDelete, and this is by no means a sponsored advertisement or anything for them. We have it on the car, and we were just generally curious because their website says if you'd use xDelete on your car, which again is a phone app available for both Apple and Android, it enables you to convert your all-wheel drive BMW to rear-wheel drive, all completely electronically. Now, the thing is, they say that it adds horsepower and torque, but it doesn't really. Today, we're gonna put it on the dyno and find out. Now, as you already know, auto manufacturers will give you horsepower and torque numbers that are to the crank. What happens is there is a lot of loss in your drivetrain. So typically, it's like 15 to 25% depending if you're rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Now, the way that xDelete is able to supposedly get you some more power is you don't have all that drivetrain loss because it's not sending extra power to those front wheels, it's sending it all to the back. So with that, let's put it on the dyno and see if we get any extra horsepower and torque. 457 to the wheels for the horsepower and 550 foot-pound torque. All right, so we're in the xDelete app. Airplane mode is enabled. We have our Ethernet connected here. Configure xDrive, have that turn off. We're gonna flash it, connecting to the car, identifying car. It only takes a little while, it's pretty quick. And just like boot mode, make sure your seatbelt's connected so that nothing goes to sleep or anything. Disabling xDrive. I'm nervous. I'm a little nervous. I'm excited, but nervous. All for you. If I blow something up, it's for you. Disabling xDrive. Success. Enjoy your new rear-wheel drive car. All right, so now I'm gonna put it in dyno mode. All right, so if you take a quick look at the screen, those are the dynos from when we have xDelete enabled. But I'm changing that screen on you because we're about to see what it does with xDelete. $470. That was great. We got 470 and 458. Hold on a second. Let's look at this. It's true. It's true. Yeah, our average was 457, but the highest we ever got was 459. We got 470. I'm pumped right now. All right, so 470, I'm just gonna write these down, and then 558, which was also higher than anything else we got. When we did the first 3 runs, we did wait for carry between each run, so it did cool down the car quite a bit. So the car is definitely going to be running hotter now, so we might see it drop a little bit more than we did the first time. So if you see that, that's really why, because some of those runs, we let it sit for 15, 20 minutes, some a half hour. So it was able to really fully cool down, where it's definitely not fully cooled down right now. So I'm gonna give it a minute or so, and then we'll try again. All right, so let's do another run. We let it cool down for maybe 2 minutes. We're just excited. $455.99 horsepower and 549. So still great numbers. Yeah, the highest torque we had before was 550, so 549 is pretty much right there. And then this was 455, which is pretty much in line with the other of the last run. Like I said, we're not letting it cool down like we did on the last one, but I don't know. We're gonna let it cool down for a couple minutes. Maybe I'll put the engine bay back together. and then we'll do it again because that first run got us good horsepower. So I don't know, we'll see. I don't really like to drive around on xDelete that much. I'll put it on and then take it off. I just feel like the car was meant to be all-wheel drive, so I drive it as an all-wheel drive car. But it is fun to play with here and there if we need to do like a burnout for video, or you wanted to go drifting or whatever. I don't know. It's kind of fun to be able to enable and then take off again. So, but yeah, very scientific. But I'm gonna let this car cool down a little, and then we will be back for run number 3. We're gonna give you an average and let you know, does making it rear-wheel drive actually do anything? Not bad. So 456. So 456 and 455 were pretty much right on line with what it was when it was xDrive. And then 455, it's still a little bit higher. So let me average these before I say anything. But from initial look, it looks like it added a little horsepower, but not all that much. And personally, I'd rather want the power spread out between 4 wheels because you can have traction whether it's dry, whether it's raining, whether it's snowing. Now, don't get me wrong, I have an F80 M3 and I love rear-wheel drive. But just for this car, like if I had the option to convert an all-wheel drive car to a rear-wheel, based on this, it seems like it's very minimal. But I mean, I would say that you definitely get, I know I just wasn't gonna say anything, but it looks like you definitely get a little horsepower. Is it enough to notice it? Maybe not. It's like an intake. It doesn't really add any power, but it's really cool. Now, if you followed our videos for any length of time, you will know that for our dyno series, typically what we like to do just one run because it's really hard to compare. You have heat soak and all these other factors. We like to do 3 runs and then average them together to give you the average torque and horsepower. So with it in xDrive mode, so it's all-wheel drive, we had an average of 457 horsepower to the wheels and 542 foot-pound torque, and that is on just 93. There's no meth, there's no E85. Now, once we enabled xDelete, which made the car rear-wheel drive essentially, we actually picked up a couple horsepower, which I'm actually pretty surprised about. We were able to get an average of 460 horsepower to the wheels and an average of 554 foot-pound of torque. So it gave us 3 wheel horsepower, which isn't bad for literally a phone app. And more impressively, we got an increase of 8 foot-pounds of torque. So 3 horsepower, 8 torque. So at the end of the day, is it super noticeable? I mean, it's only 3 and 8, but hey, they did prove it. So I'm actually super excited about that. Now, to finish out this video, we were gonna take the car out on the road and try to go xDrive and then also go with xDelete on to see if we could actually feel that 3 horsepower, but typically you just honestly can't. The other problem with this car is it actually feels a lot slower right now because it's winter, it's about 30 degrees and the tires are not all that great. So what happens is once you start to get on a little bit, that 540 foot-pound torque just spins those back wheels and you don't really go anywhere. So for this car, especially with the season, the all-wheel drive is much faster on the road, but on paper, it certainly is a little bit faster in rear-wheel drive mode. Once again, my name is Brian. Thanks for watching Kies Motorsports. If you like our videos, give us a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe, and check us out at KiesMotorsports.com. And if you're interested in learning more about the modifications we've done to this car to date, be sure to see the link in the description. We'll have a link to that video. Once again, my name is Brian, and I'll see you in the next video.